Good evening, everybody. It's Steve with Real Progressives. As you all know, usually Saturday nights I have Joe Firestone on with me. Joe and I will do our regularly scheduled broadcast on Tuesday night. Tonight, you saw the keynote address from Bernie Sanders at the People's Summit. And there were a large number of people there who, to varying degrees were woke, to varying degrees. Some of them were flat out asleep, and they thought they were at the most revolutionary thing they've ever been to in their life. And this is a really important thing. Folks, I couldn't be any further left than I am, just so we're on the same page. And I have a tremendous amount of understanding than the average person when it comes to economics. I have gone through stores in my local area asking people just to see how many of them understood the basics that I was bringing up. And person to person to person, they didn't have a clue. They'd never even heard of it. They'd never even heard of half the economic stuff I was talking about. Then I asked them point blank, I was like, did you guys even know there was a People's Summit going on in Chicago? And one by one, none of them even had a clue there was a People's Summit going on in Chicago. Not one of them. I didn't meet a single person in my local community that knew that there was a People's Summit going on in Chicago. Folks, everywhere you go, you're going to find people of varying awakeness. They're going to be varying levels of awakeness. And you see that people, obviously, we're truth tellers and we come running around and we tell you the truth, and we're always trying to be really, really sharp-witted and to the point and, blowing the world up with our vast knowledge. Okay? But the truth is, most people, I would say in the upwards of 95% of the people out there are in no way, shape, or form woke. They are literally in no way, shape, or form woke. Okay? And as we sit there and we try to get all up on our haunches, trying to show how smart we are and how witty we are, hey, Jason, what ends up happening over and over again is we outwit ourselves. It's really fun. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I enjoy knowing what I know about economics. I do. And I enjoy crushing conspiracy theorists like a frickin' boss. There's nothing I love more than crushing a dumb-witted conspiracy theorist that tries to talk economics with me. It's one of my favorite things in the world to do. But guess what? It's not going to win me any elections. It's not going to win me any elections. Not one. Not a single one. Well, me crushing them, it won't. So all of us pundits out there that are so woke, we're so woke our eyelids are sealed open. It's like walking around like Clockwork Orange. You know what I'm saying? We're so woke. The more woke we get, the less coherent we become, I'm afraid. You look around and you realize the name of the game is to win elections. Now, we can complain about our election system. Yo, John, what's up, buddy? We can complain about our election system till the cows come home. But let me tell you something. Even if every vote was handwritten and cast, the population at large is sound a fucking sleep. It is sound asleep. Sound asleep. Sound asleep. So all the excitement and all the passion the woke have, all the excitement and the passion that the true burners and the true progressives, the real progressives of the world, the real lefties, the real this, the real that, the real everybody, okay? The more we think we're woke, the more separated we become from the people that actually vote, from the masses that vote. And we can become so woke that we put people to sleep, that we push them the hell away. I don't know why this is shocking to the woke people out there, because we're so woke. We're so fucking woke that everything's, we're just woke. We're just woke, man. We're woke. We're so woke. If you're woke, then you realize in order to win an election, you need the zombies that aren't awake. You need them. I hate to break it to you. You fucking need the zombies. Okay? The zombies win elections. It sucks. God, there's nothing. Do you know how bad it is for me? Like, I've gotten to the point, because I've been debating economics for a long, long time. I've gotten to the point now where I almost can't bring myself to respond to somebody who says something stupid about economics. I've gotten to the point where it just grates my nerves to no end to hear somebody say, yeah, well, it's just worthless paper. If we don't back it to gold, then it's just worthless. I want to just destroy them. I want to eviscerate them. I want to take away their dignity, their self-esteem. I want to take away everything when I hear them say stupid shit like that. I want to crush them. But again, that doesn't win anybody any elections. It doesn't win a fucking election. And the only way that we get elected people into office to actually make change is to win fucking elections. And so it takes time and it takes patience. And it takes, thank God, an army around you. Thank God. Guys, let me tell you the thing I'm most grateful for. There's a band of people that have learned MMT as a result of what I've been doing. Not just me, but the whole Real Progressives unit that has pushed us out there. And there is an army of foot soldiers out there willing to do the dirty work of debating people, because I don't have the patience for it anymore. I've lost all patience for the folks that run around talking about the Federal Reserve, run around talking about the gold standard. I have lost almost all patience to deal with them. And yes, Patricia, you are one of the best soldiers of them all. But I have lost so much patience in dealing with what I consider to be the low end of the gene pool. The fucking dullards that believe they're sharp, they believe they're on fire, they think they know stuff because they read something in Global Research CA, or they read some blog in the middle of the night about the coming economic collapse. These fools sit there and read Bitcoin Daily or some other foolish thing, and they think they're coming to the fucking gunfight armed to the gills with a bunch of spoons they're ready to carve a turkey with. Okay? You lose all sense of composure. You lose all sense of reality because you think, how could people be this stupid? And you see it amongst the other pundits who don't understand why someone like Bernie Sanders, who doesn't talk about the fraud of the election, you see Bernie Sanders who supports the Democrats and they support war, and you see Bernie Sanders who supports Democrats and they won't go for single payer, and you see Bernie Sanders who supports Democrats and guess what? They don't want to do anything right. The Democratic Party is dead on arrival. But guess what? It's full of the zombies it takes to win elections. Doesn't that suck? Doesn't that fucking suck? It fucking sucks because they're not woke. You can't have these grandiose conversations with them. They're thimble deep. Folks, they're thimble deep. If you knock the thimble over, you've got this little tiny puddle of water. And that's it. That's the amount of knowledge these people have. They vote blue. They vote blue, and that's it. And there's nothing you can do about it. Not directly. So the only thing you could do is find a slick way of waking them up with little drips and drabs. Folks, the people that are woke as fuck. But they gotta remember that the zombies win elections. So we've got to pull the zombies out of there. Okay? And beating them over the head with a fucking dummy stick doesn't do it. You can sit there, bam, bam, bam. You can knock them out and they still aren't going to wake up. You could show them empirically that taxes don't fund spending, and guess what the fuck they'll do? They'll go, we need to raise taxes to pay for things. You can't fucking wake a zombie. A zombie is fucking dead. Oh, la, la, la. So what do? You've got to figure out a way to moderate and deal with the facts as they are. You know, I'm an alcoholic. And in AA, they say that we deal with life on life's terms. Guess what life's terms are? There's a hell of a lot more Democrats in the Democratic Party that shouldn't be in the Democratic Party, but are there. They don't know any better. They won't do any better. They think it's safe. It's the only place to go. But Trump, whatever. And there's where they're going to stay. And it doesn't make a hill of beans difference whether the Democratic Party ever serves their needs. Doesn't matter at all. Doesn't matter at all. Sandy, RP was there. RP was there. We were there. We just didn't have a booth. It wasn't our thing. We didn't want to be in it. But we supported Draft Bernie. And we had 5 or 6 of our own there that were networking, etc. But the point is, and I want you to hear this loud and clear, it is so important, so vital. The woke are a tiny little group of people. We're the hardy 1%. We're 1%ers. We're 1%ers. What can I say? And last check I had, 99% is a lot bigger than 1%. So I had, just so you understand where my mind's at, I had Mike Norman come on the show, I don't know, about a week ago. Mike Norman's running for president on the Republican ticket, a progressive Republican that knows MMT. That's called woke. It doesn't mean that I like him being a Republican. I want to tell him, Mike, what are you doing? But guess what? We need the Republicans to wake up too, don't we? Because MMT just is. It's not politically whatever. It doesn't fit in a box. It is just truth. And you've got the losers, the wackos, the zombies running around talking about the Federal Reserve like they know something, like they just figured something cool out. Man, I know something. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about the Federal Reserve. Hey, man, get me a Budweiser, a Milwaukee's Best, man. I got to talk about the Federal Reserve. I mean, this is what you're dealing with everywhere you go. People are sound asleep and they think they're so fucking woke. They think they are outrageously woke too, but they're talking all kinds of conspiracy nonsense. Do you realize that when you're talking in beliefs, you're talking religion? I don't know if you realize this or not, because there's a lot of people out there that claim to be militant atheists, but they talk in faith. And when they speak as if faith is somehow or another truth, they've crossed into religion. And that's what we're dealing with. We got the right-wing religious, and then we've got the left-wing religion. And the left-wing religion is caught up somehow or another. They found themselves really close on the horseshoe, hanging out with Ron Paul and the gang. Okay? Not Cool and the gang, Ron Paul and the gang. And they're watching the coming economic collapse at 3 a.m. when Peter Schiff starts talking about gold. More gold! I need gold! This is why it's important to understand what Bernie Sanders, the Draft Bernie team, is doing. This is why it's important to understand the teams that are out there that aren't isolating themselves from the zombies. It doesn't mean that you become a zombie. It means you have to stay in contact with the zombies. Because if you don't keep in touch with the fucking zombies, you're just going to lose every fucking election forever. And I don't care if we fix the election system down to paper ballots. You will lose every one of them if you lose touch with the zombies. The zombies win elections. It sucks. God, does it suck. It's painful as fuck to admit that you need the dummies. You need the ones that are thimble deep. You need the ones from the shallow end of the gene pool. You need them. It sucks. Get over it. Get over it. We need them. How do we deal with that? How do we get the woke as fuck to deal with the zombies instead of isolating themselves out and bitching and complaining? Somebody's got to take a stab at trying to work with the zombies. Hey, Kim, MMT, modern monetary theory, which is a description of how federal financing works in the United States from 1971 to present, when we left the gold standard. But it's more than that. It's a description of currency wherever it is. But in the United States, MMT means a description of currency from 1971 to present. And it talks about the fact that we can afford the entire Green New Deal, the entire New Deal, and student debt forgiveness, you name it, without blinking an eye. We're no way, shape, or form is our country broke. That's what MMT is, okay? But you got the freaks and the geeks out there screaming about going broke, the country's broke, Social Security's broke, the world's broke, everything's broke. God damn it, everything's broke. And the reality is it's not. We're not. We're this close to getting reality taken care of, folks. We're mobilizing, we got people activating, and they understand what's going on. And that's a huge deal for each and every one of you. Even you zombies out there, even you gold bugs out there, we're still going to help you too, in spite of your knuckleheadedness. In spite of your knuckleheadedness, gold bugs, you too will benefit from the knowledge that MMTers are going to do for our nation. But I want to bring us all back to the point that no matter what you feel about this People's Summit, no matter what you feel about it, there were a lot of people there that have no intention whatsoever of ever being in the Democratic Party, who were there spreading the gospel of get the fuck out. They were there spreading the gospel of get the fuck out of that party. And so it's very important to understand that while we, the woke, would never do such awful things, right? The goal is not to stay our hardy band of less than 1%. Our goal is to expand so we win. We win. We need to win. What good does it do to have a quote-unquote people's conference for the people if the people are just a little echo chamber full of people that are woke as fuck? And nobody that's a zombie has woken up because of it. It's kind of like if a tree falls in the forest and there's no one here to hear it. Did it make any noise? I don't know. When you shut the refrigerator light, does the light go off? I don't know. I'm not inside the fridge, right? Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. I don't know. That's the problem. We are preaching to the choir way, way too much. And we're speaking in language that does not attract the zombies. You've got to feel your way through this or we will never get anywhere, folks. We'll never get anywhere. We'll never get anywhere. We'll never get anywhere. So you got to ask yourself, do you just want to be the coolest motherfucker woke as fuck sitting there on the sidelines in your 1%? Or are you into winning elections and being able to fix the election system because you get some people in there that have the courage to do it? Or do you just want to sit over there in the corner waxing poetic about how incredibly woke you are? How incredibly smart you are, how incredibly sharp your eye is for picking out the fakes from the frauds, from the this, from the that. Yay, team. Woo, woo. I'm in the 1% club. I get to be woke. I don't win anything, but damn it, I feel good, and that makes me special. Folks, we want to win. I want to change the fucking world. I want my kids to have a better world. I don't need to be the only person in the world that's quote unquote woke. I want the masses to come on board. So we've got to moderate our speech. We got to change the way we say things. We got to look at different ways of pursuing problems. Doesn't change facts. Facts are facts. That's a beautiful thing about them. They don't care whether we agree with them or not. They are still facts. But perception is reality to these people. And it is extremely important that we start living in the real world and start addressing the zombies so that we can pull them out instead of acting like we're so much better than the zombies. Because who wants to sit there and hang around with them, right? Think about it for a minute. Anyway, this is my message for the night, gang. This People's Summit, I didn't go to it. Why didn't I go to it? Well, I didn't feel like spending a lot of your money, my money, anybody's money going to the People's Summit. It wasn't my thing. That said, a lot of people from Real Progressives did go. And each one of them had very different ideas on what they got from it. And I can tell you right now, whether you like it or not, the People's Summit did an awful lot of good because it's got a lot of people talking. And one final thing before I go. There was one lady who fancies herself to be woke. She's an older woman, and she was so giddy to go to this People's Summit. She was so giddy to go there. And she really, really felt like she was being a rebel. You can work with that if you actually try to work with it. These are the people, these are the ones that you throw some breadcrumbs out there and you pull them out. You don't sit there and beat them over the head with how unwoke they are. You gotta find a way to extract them. Unless your goal is just to be able to give yourself a good reach around and pat yourself on the back. My goal is to win. My goal is to wake people up. And sometimes I don't do it very sweetly because people are dying. But the reality of this is that we need votes. We need to wake them up and we need to get their votes. And that means we need to try different things. So I'm Steve Grumbine with Real Progressives. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody.